Welcome, acolytes. Today, I'm watching the shameless hypocrisy of something. I don't know what, but Ref, as always, the master of disaster. Probably some anime thing again. But let's see what he has to say about hypocriticism. And I have a lot to say about hypocriticism because I don't like it at all. Let's just say there are sometimes necessary things where you just say, okay, good, I am hypocritical about that, you shouldn't do this. Even though I do it, I still think it's bad. And there are blatant things like freaking... I'm gonna just say Dark Viper AU, where he says, yeah, I am doing this nice human being and trying to help, and then he just F's up a person while watching Among Us. Just... Damn, I really watched into that guy and I'm gonna... But as it is, let's just start with Ref says Tissu with the shameless hypocriticism.
Hey, what's up guys, Ref here.
And by the way, flag my comment, leave a comment, press the notification button, and of course, show some love to Ref.
The surprise of probably very few, we are going to have another conversation about some Gamergate related controversy.
Yes! Good. Waiter, more Gamergate, please. Yes.
And like all the other controversies, it stems from Stellar Blade.
Again, oh my good gosh, it's like, I'm gonna be honest, those people really have something against Asian people. Because this, I literally don't see this much actually stuff thrown around, except it's a freaking Asian game or from Oriental. It's just, that's what I see. I definitely think though that people that actually have something against this have something against Asian people. This is just incredibly freaking, how often do you actually have to do something against Asian people for people actually say, yeah, that's probably true.
However, today we're taking a bit of a detour and veering off in a different direction thanks to the upcoming release of Hades 2.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yes, please. This is Hades. Like Hades 1 was already. And the 2, even beautiful. Beautiful.
Now in this video, I have no criticism for Hades 2. I simply bring up this game because of the great disparity in how game journalists are treating attractive character designs and fan service from this game versus its counterparts in Stellar Blade. This meme right here is totally unironic.
Game journalists prestige the design of the left while simultaneously banishing the one of the right. Oh yeah, I see. Yep. Aphrodite, by the way, totally naked. Yep. The only thing that covers is her hair. On point.
You can see the number of likes here. A lot of people are picking up on this pattern of behavior where game journalists are thirsting over and praising Aphrodite from Hades 2, who is literally naked, but these are the same game journalists who have been crapping on Stellar Blade's main protagonist Eve's design for weeks on end, making all kinds of outrageous claims about it, claiming it's overly sexualized, that it's the product of an...
Yeah, and again, how is a literal freaking naked woman less freaking sexualized than actually a woman that has some clothes on? This doesn't make sense to me. It just zero sense. I mean, what the F? As I said, I think those people have something against Asians. And I'm not joking about that. I really think that.
An incel, and also that it's leading to real-life acts of violence against women. The claims are outrageous, so that's why it's very confusing that game journalists are somehow praising Aphrodite now, who's completely naked.
Yep.
Now, of course, just like how it all goes back to Stellar Blade, it often all...
Señorita could... Of course, yeah, okay.
Goes back to senior editor from Kotaku, Alyssa Mercanti, mercenary, merchant, nobody knows. But she's also very well known for her active racism. She is very dedicated to spreading these sorts of messages. And, of course, here's one of her recent tweets thirsting over this character Aphrodite, saying mommy. Now we've entered the safe horny arc here, where this character has clearly been deemed safe horny. Now what does that mean? Basically it's when...
Oh, come on. Like, I don't even need to know what safe horny is. Safe horny is just basically... It's simple. It's so... People that actually have something against a certain race, I assume, in this case specifically, is just because she... Actually, they should hate this woman. Because she actually represents true femininity, true power. She's not a freaking enraged lesbian feminist that actually bashes people for absolutely no reason. No, this is actually a powerful character that is fine with what she is. She's the goddess of love and lust, and she just represents it. And for some reason they like this, but Eve, that's, by the way, Eve is also our it has a biblical implication, as Eve, the freaking the actual wife of Adam, and and the mother of humanity. So I don't know. I just don't know.
Then Twitter or game journalists just decide out of thin air that a certain character is okay to sexualize or to thirst after. And it looks like Aphrodite from Hades 2 is the latest one to be a part of that trend.
Yeah.
Now, this is very ironic because Alyssa has had a very brutal treatment of anyone who has been enjoying the character design of Eve from Stellar Blade, making this tweet only a few weeks ago saying, they want their women to be virtually silent, overly sexualized dolls in video games that they can jerk off to without having to wash their ass or clip their nails or even show a single attractive quality. Seems like a lot of projection, but this is quite ironic given her...
Really? And then you're after... Oh my fucking god. Oh, this is...
comments about Aphrodite. Now you can see she also released another article, this time praising Hades 2 and the diverse, hot characters that she claims are in this game. Because apparently the character from Stellar Blade that's based on an Asian woman is not diverse enough. Now we have these here. So let's jump into this article. There's a lot.
Yeah, yes. I'm gonna be honest, the only way I see it, and I mean it really, really from the bottom of my heart, I really think those people are just racist against Asians. Just like they are racist against actual white people, they're racist against Asians. And why? Because the Asian people are just, like, I know a lot. I think everyone who actually seen my Stellar Blade video knows my stance on the... that I have a, let's just say, small sim problem with Asian women. I'm just gonna, like, yes, sorry about that. I just like those, not that I really will simp about it, but you know what I mean. I'm just, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's just, this is the only thing I can see. Like, this is the only way I can explain it logically. Because there literally isn't any logical sense otherwise. Or that actually is the same, or that competes with their logic or that logic. Because you can't, like, what the F? And by the way, diversity, I would even argue against that Asian woman in an Asian kingdom is diverse because, well, it's Asian, of course. Yeah. It's not particularly diverse in my opinion. It's just natural in this particular case. But I don't care, to be honest. I just want the game to be good.
A lot to go through here, so it begins by saying this. Hades Supergiant Games award-winning 2020 roguelite was renowned for its excellent combat, beautiful art style, entrancing music, and very, very hot characters. You'd expect a game about Greek gods who were purposefully attractive so that the normies of ancient Greece had something to aspire towards, to include a ton of hot characters. But Hades, man...
And this is what I mean. yes, it's okay if they do it in a way that you like, but it's not okay if somebody else does the thing in a way that you don't like. Like, this argument can be told in the same way in every other medium that actually presents something higher than you, like not higher, I'm actually saying it a bit wrongly, that you actually can strive to become. It's the exact same thing. But with the gods, actually, it's way less realistic, because I doubt any one of us will reach the height of a freaking god and do the shit they do. So, but I mean, yeah, okay.
Managed to exceed expectations, and from what I've seen from the Hades 2 technical test and Supergiant's latest gameplay stream, it looks like the sequel will be even hotter. Take that, cancel pigs. So you'll see throughout this article, Alyssa is very worked up.
Cancel pigs. This must be a joke. This is reflection without any, like, how can you say this unironically? I really believe she just wrote this down ironically.
About these characters from Hades 2, but this last part right here, take that, cancel pigs, really should be just rent-free, because she is referring to Mark Kern, who is a longtime member of the gaming industry, who she has been beefing with for several weeks. You can see her tweets constantly pointing out his age and trying to say all these disparaging things about him. Once again, also saying bad things about old dudes in games journalism. She clearly has a complex about older male figures, which, you know, the jokes kind of just write themselves in the situation.
Yeah.
But moving on in the article, it says this: despite what certain corners of the internet might believe, there isn't a lack of attractive people in modern video games. Baldur's Gate 3 just set Game of the Year award records, and that game was full of hotties. But when compared to something like Stellar Blade's Eve, the standard bearer...
And by the way, Baldur's Gate didn't give a fuck about what you think about them. That's just the truth. They just did what they were thinking is fun. And they did a very great job about it. So don't even compare those two things. Because if there weren't actual lesbian, gay, I think there was even a trans in there, you wouldn't give a fuck. You would bash them exactly the same. And they just don't give a fuck about you, they just give a fuck about players having fun. And can you see how interesting it is that those two things can actually coincide and still have people that are even in different ways, think a different way, still have fun together. Isn't that interesting?
For the latest gamer culture war, the manner in which Hades depicts its characters and their attractiveness is fundamentally different. You know what? Alyssa is correct here. There is a fundamental difference in how these characters are depicted in Hades 2 versus Stellar Blade. The Hades 2 characters like Aphrodite are completely naked, unlike Stellar Blade. They are completely head to toe naked. That is completely different. That is fundamentally different. But as we'll see in the discussions later in this video, that'll be justified because it's accurate to the lore of these Greek gods. But we'll talk about that in a second. So there's other claims here saying that people on the internet believe there's no attractive people in modern video games. Nobody is saying that there's no attractive characters in modern video games. They're saying there's a trend, especially in Western developers, to make more conventionally unattractive characters, or at least to shy away from conventionally attractive character designs. That is what they're complaining about. And then bringing up Baldur's Gate 3, people were very aware that there's attractive characters in Baldur's Gate 3, but also, of course...
Yeah, and if you've seen the things I've seen, people are very aware that there are attractive people, attractive characters in Baldur's Gate. They are very aware of that.
Alyssa would praise Baldur's Gate 3 while attacking Stellar Blade. We all know this meme format keeps playing out, and just basically every couple of months we have this part stay the same and this part get replaced with whatever the latest thing game journalists are complaining about. And you can see the outrageous hypocrisy here. But moving forward, we have this section saying, understanding Hades' hotness. Hades' character's sexiness is woven into their personalities, as much a part of them as their wants, needs, and emotions, and their bodies, however scantily clad or salacious, are not in motion. They cannot be manipulated or posed or peered at from different angles. Instead, it's like you're looking at statues or paintings of these gods and their eternal, infinite sexiness. There is desire here, sure, but there is also power and reclamation. There is longing because you only get a tiny little taste of their beauty. The concept of look but don't touch is incredibly sexy. It's part of why strip clubs, many of which have strict rules on touching the performers, are so lucrative. Wow. First of all, calm down. You're getting a little too worked up talking about these characters from Hades 2. But this idea that somehow there's a complete difference in how these characters in Hades 2 are presented versus Stellar Blade is outrageous, especially on this look but...
No, it's exactly the same. Or not exactly, I mean, the one are Greek gods, the other is a Japanese woman based on Western Bible things, like, okay, yeah, but really? You believe that? And this is the problem that I see. It's not that she wants to F every single character in that game. I don't care about that. But that she forces every single one of us to, or just thinks that every single one of us should actually also just despise Asian people just because of it. And no, I'm gonna just say it because it is what it is. She definitively has a distaste for Asian people, and it's the longer I actually hear it, just gets clearer, and it's just disgusting to me. Just stop it. Get your freaking mind out of the gutter. Just stop for a second.
But don't touch basis. I got news for you. You're not touching any of these characters. They're not real. And there's no difference in how Stellar Blade's Eve is there on the screen versus these characters from Hades 2. I don't understand how there's this big focus on different angles and being in motion or not. I think it's all just gobbledygook to try to justify some sort of a difference when there really isn't. And also, if we're going down this route of the look but don't touch and trying to imply that strip clubs are somehow empowering, are we really doing this pitch?
He has a fair point about it. Because, yeah, I am of the very, very high opinion, or of my opinion, that strip clubs are a job. That's all there is to it. It is a job like not exactly like any other, because at the end of the day you will suffer from it, because no one actually takes a strip club worker serious at the end of the day. And even if you try, it just won't work. This is just the reality of it. And it's just such F you for that one. And I'm not even conservative. At the end of the day, I don't even care if you personally want to do it, and just do it. It won't impact me. But really, no. If you're a young lady that actually wants to be taken serious in any kind of matter, don't do stuff like that. Just watch for your back, try to make a career, or if you want to be a mother, try to be a mother, a housewife. That's also fine. But don't believe this crap. This empowering, no, that's bullshit. Follow you. And yes, there are some people that actually, that's what they do, okay? They are good at it, they're gonna do it, yeah, but this is a really small handful that actually applies to. It's more of an anomaly than a reality. And right now, just every single freaking one everybody just tries to destroy basically lives, the life around it, just because they want to get arousal to a certain thing, and that's just watch your back. Just watch your back.
Like that, yeah. We'll tell them to get on stage and take off their clothes in front of a group of people throwing money at them like zoo animals. But we'll call it empowering, so they'll keep doing it. Like, it's like, come on. But moving forward, here we have this, and conversely, as Izzy van der Velde writes for Inverse, a character like Stellar Blade's Eve, like Lara Croft before her, is hot, but she doesn't seem to be aware of it. She's sexy, but doesn't know it. She's athletic and acrobatic, but entirely controllable. She is a blank slate, a posable sex doll, her bountiful chest heaving during idle animations.
By the way, I'm not gonna say the Lara Croft thing, because, okay, let's just say you're right. How do we know it about Eve? How can you point to that exactly about Eve? Because we didn't play the game right now. We don't know her story. We don't know her mind. We didn't read into it. And your assumption is that it's this way. That's not a fact. That's just a feeling you have. That's a big maybe you have. That's all. And that's all that it is. It's a big maybe. Maybe you're correct about it. Maybe not. But how dare you actually propose fighting for the rights of everyone else and their self-mind and still say stuff like that? Yeah.
Unlike Bayonetta, whose sexiness is folded into her personality and fighting style.
No, don't give me that bull crap. You and others like you just freaking hated Bayonetta at the start. Don't give me that shit.
Eve is just blandly attractive. Eve is the object of desire, not the owner of it. Yeah.
So is Aphrodite. And by the way, both are fictional characters. What?
Yeah, you know, here's the thing. Eve is definitely a controllable character because she is a controllable character. She is the main protagonist. I'm sorry. I think I'm about to have a stroke from reading these articles, dude.
Yeah,
It's so blatantly disingenuous. They think if they just keep talking and keep talking, you're just going to keep going along with what they're saying. And also, if you're someone who's not familiar with gaming or even the particular games they're talking about, you might just go through this and believe this is the way that it is. But these are crazy comparisons. And also, bringing up Bayonetta is so rich because we all know when Bayonetta was first released, game journalists like Alyssa, people who were her counterparts in the industry, they came out and were critical of Bayonetta.
Yep.
Journalists like Anita Sarkeesian were calling Bayonetta the...
I just say if I'm right about it, he's also right about it. And yes, he's correct. He is correct about
the male gaze, male gaze problem. And that her poses and her fighting style was actually degrading to women and made her less than as a character.
First, the positive.
He shows it. Okay, good.
She's a single mother, and that's kind of it. So on to the negatives. She carries with her 4 pistols, 2 of which are strapped to her high-heeled boots, which provide the perfect opportunity for her to contort her body into pornographic poses, including spreading...
No. I'm gonna start in here. How is it a positive if you're a single parent? Like, how is this a positive thing? That's not a positive thing, that's bad. It's bad for you and it's bad for your child. And I care more about the child than about the parent that's alone, because you never know how, when, and what exactly happened. But no, it's not good being a single parent. No matter what you do, it's effing hard being a single parent. And the child suffers under it. The only thing you can do as a single parent is do the best you can so the child actually grows up as a decent human being. It's in any freaking way is this a good thing. What are you talking about?
Her legs and doing a little flip in the air to kill the bad guys. When she lands, she does a little sexy pose for the player, complete with the sound of a camera shutter snapping. But it gets even better, because one of her most powerful weapons involves her stripping all her clothes off and turning her hair into an evil demon weapon fighting machine. Did you get that? The whole taking all her clothes off in order to use her hair as a weapon? Because clearly you can't use your hair to drag demons down to hell if you're fully clothed. Predictably, the internet is now infested with gamers' screen captures with various ways that they got Bayonetta naked.
So returning to this section right here where she says Eve is just blandly attractive. This claim that Eve's design is bland or in many cases unattractive is something that game journalists have been doing for a long time. And when questioned as to why they're the experts on what should be considered attractive or not, we see people like Alyssa make the same claims like this, saying, see, the major difference in what some of us find hot and what others find hot is that some of...
And by the way, I'm gonna repeat it, it's very, very outstanding that you have those takes a lot of the time against Asian people, like with the attractive thing. And, that's very suspicious. Very suspicious, I would say.
Some of us actually have sex. Ah, yes. Take that, chuds. You don't have an opinion because I'm talking on the internet about having sex. I'm cool and my opinion's more valid. I hate to pull this card when this sort of thing's raised. Like, I'm a married man. I find Eve's character to be a good design. So does my wife. She agrees. Now what? Does the simulation crash or something? Does your brain short circuit because the scenario has been disproven?
Yeah.
It's very weird to make these claims and use this sort of thing as a justification as to why you're right about something that's so subjective. And also this part down here, like, I don't really care what's going on in your life, but I know this, if you're bragging about these sorts of things and making claims like this on the internet, clearly you're very insecure. I think that's obvious. But moving on, people would find her Aphrodite mommy tweet and start criticizing her, where she responded saying this: shocker, this is getting piled on by the bots. Aphrodite is the goddess of sexual love and beauty. Part of her character is how she looks, how stupid, dummy hot she is. It's the point. And that's the difference between this and some other depictions of hot women. There's a purpose. Ah, yes. There is a purpose. Really, is there...
Can we define purpose, please? Because the purpose of somebody being sexy is already a purpose. It's the same thing why I actually want to lose weight. Why? Because I want to freaking look good. I want to look sexy. And I still think I look good even when I'm fat, but it's basically also because, well, if I continue this way, I'm probably gonna die in about 15 years, the freaking doctor said. So yeah, I'm still in the early stages, and I'm not overly obese. But I'm still not, like, really. Yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Is there a purpose for anything in video games? Is there a purpose as to why a lot of these things happen? No, it's because people want to consume this stuff in video games. It's what they want to see. And also with purpose, you know, a lot of the justification she's making for Aphrodite being naked or having a very similar body type to Eve from Stellar Blade is that it fits her Greek goddess type, okay?
She's just thirsty, and she has to somehow, like, in her head, there has to be some kind of justification for it, even though it's just fine. If you're thirsty, that's fine. Just own it.
And here's the thing, okay? If you want to go by that logic, you could also extend that to Eve, who's based on the Bible, and say, hey, you know, the story of Adam and Eve, they could have an outfit for Eve where she's literally just wearing leaves to cover up her body. That has a purpose. Would that be okay in the eyes of people like Alyssa? No, it wouldn't. They would call it some kind of like overly sexualized, misogynistic, gross thing, and they'd be mad about it. But, of course, that hypocrisy is just to be expected at this point. But moving on in the article, we get a very racy section here saying this. In Hades 2, everyone is horny for each other, and thus it feels far less leery and creepy for us players to be horny for them too. These are sexual people, gods who are infamous for their rampant and often unchecked desires. Aphrodite, goddess of sexual love and beauty, would be naked and have pink hair down to her ass crack, and the wry smile she wears in her character photo implies that she knows you're hoping that one perfectly placed tendril over her nipple would shift ever so slightly. Yeah, I don't want to ever hear you talk about people being coomers and stuff like that on the internet. She has so many tweets bashing on gamers, calling them like porn addicts and stuff like that. I don't want to hear any of that after writing this light novel right here, okay? You can do you, but don't judge other people for doing far less than this paragraph right here, okay? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But continuing on, she talks about many different things, including this claim right here that there needs to be more muscle mommies, like there are.
Why? You know what? In this case, I changed my mind. There is a muscle mommy in Hades, and I think it's enough. I rather prefer a diverse cast with, let's just say, some Asian people in it. Unlike you.
In Hades 2, in that there's a smorgasbord of sexiness on display, not singular, decidedly straight male-oriented take on attractiveness. Basically saying that games like Eve, or Stellar Blade and their main protagonist Eve, are the desire of straight male-oriented attractiveness. Now, of course, she was featured in a recent article.
So she basically argues yes, it's okay because Aphrodite is a freaking god that is actually constructed in a way where she is the fulfillment of a dream, or is getting as close as you can to a dream. So you get horny around it, but it's bad when a Asian company does it. Yeah.
Article here where they were talking about this exact subject, where they were trying to claim that this character design was from the male gaze, but also in the same article, while mentioning Alyssa down here, admitting that all people, including women, non-binary people, straight and queer, everyone enjoys Eve from Stellar Blade, but somehow it's only the straight men who are the issue here. It's very, very strange, and that's what's happening again with this muscle mommy claim, where again we're trying to act like that's kind of different. We all know that that's something that's trying to fetishize body parts of a woman. Like, you know, they're trying to say, you know, this thing I'm into's superior and the thing that you're into is gross and weird. We see this happen all the time on the internet. But, of course, continuing on, we have this section right here saying, Hades 2 offers us extensive collection of finery, a lengthy CVS receipt of thirst traps, horny character models for horny characters who have ownership over their bodies. It is exactly the kind of hot that we need right now, and I can't wait to see more of it. The Hades 2 technical test is currently accepting signups on Steam, and early access release will come soon after. Stay hydrated, kids. It's gonna get hot in here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, again, she's getting really into this article, but of course, people have seen this article and are clowning on it all over Twitter. And of course, as always, the comment section not really going the way they hoped. You see people saying like this, you have Chibi Reviews saying, no way you made this article, y'all are a bunch of hypocrites. And people saying, quick, someone tell Alyssa that they want to date her, referring to, of course, Aphrodite, because she was saying that about Mark Kern when he was claiming that he liked Eve from Stellar Blade, and she was mocking him by basically saying that someone needs to tell Eve that he wants to date her. Well, yeah, of course, that goes right back to you with Aphrodite. And here's some more saying, and there's no difference in this horny than the horny for Stellar Blade. You just want to make exceptions for what you like versus what everyone else likes. Aphrodite and Eve have zero differences in intent to be liked by the audiences. The kind of hot you guys need is a hot steaming cup of shut up juice. And here's more saying, nah, that's Eve describing these sorts of attractive characters. Hot characters for me, but not for thee. Can you please go out of business faster? And then we saw some people trying to defend this simping over Aphrodite while hating on Eve. This user saying, how are people misunderstanding this so hard? One character design is fantastic. She represents love, lust, and beauty really well with a dash of androgyny, which isn't only trans women, by the way. The other character is a lot more lazy.
Androgyny? What the F are you on? This looks like a woman, for fuck's sake. How is this andro... This is such bullshit.
Exists to attract clicks with goon clips. Stay mad, as this person's talking about a fully nude character. And again, too, this person points out, that's a woman, bro. There's nothing androgynous about this. They're trying to claim this is androgynous. Like, you kidding me? And in terms of the body type, too, they are, from the neck down, they look exactly the same. Aphrodite and Eve from Stellar Blade.
Yeah.
And then you see people saying crazy stuff like this. So we talked about this argument over where people are saying, hey, if you want to talk about, accuracy to a story with Greek gods, you can make the same claim with Eve and the Bible and some outfits she could wear, where this user says, the Aphrodite design is way less sexualized than Eve's, though. Now, I'm glad they're getting clowned on, but there were still 22 people who liked this. 22 people thought a fully nude character is less sexualized than Eve from Stellar Blade. But anyways, the hysteria surrounding this game is continuing, of course, and it's not too surprising. But yeah, I appreciate you guys giving the video a listen. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Damn, I'm shocked, to be honest. No, I'm actually not. This is... Nah, it makes sense. It makes sense that we would hear something like this. It makes total sense. It's just... Damn. But as it is, acolytes, good night.